Okay, it's the 9th of July. It's a Wednesday. We've got about just over 25 minutes to the NY Open. Just give me a second. Okay. Sorry. Right, let's start with the calendar. No news today. Tomorrow there's a small news event. It's not important. Unemployment claims. There's nothing this week. This week it has no news, no important news events. Next week is important. Next week is CPI, PPI, retail sales, which should have decent volume next week. Having said that, we've had some sort of volume. We've had some volume. NY session, NYSE session this week so far in the last 2 days. All right, where are we? Just a second. Yeah, let's look at the daily time frame. Let's start with the weekly. We're pushing down on the weekly. We're coming deeper into this area. We've been speaking about this area 3265, right? 3265. That's where price should be heading to. 3265. It's about another 200 pips away. We should be getting there. Let's look at the daily. Now, the reason for that is the reason 3265 is important is because this area, this demand, this drop, and this rally took out this daily supply. This drop, two basin candles, and a drop, base drop, right? So this move up took out that high, that zone. So we could come down here and begin to start to push back again. Okay. Um, on the weekly, we're ranging. We're in this range, in this block. This is an area, this entire area. It's about a 900 pip area. That's a range, right? That's exactly where price is. It's heading towards the bottom end of that range. That's the bottom end of the range, around 3250, 3250 or 3265, right? And that's where we could be heading to, either today or maybe even tomorrow, possibly today. Just 200 pips away. Price has moved only about 250 pips today, so yeah, it could have enough volume to push another 200 pips. Right. So once price gets there, we'll have to look for candle confirmations and see if price doesn't spend too much time at a zone, at a 4-hour zone, that means it's going to react to that zone and go in the opposite direction. If it spends a lot of time, if it spends several hours, 3-4 hours, anything over 3 or 4 hours, then that means it's very likely that zone is going to break, right? This is a good example. There is a 4-hour zone right here. Price has been here for very long, right? If you look at the 1 hour time frame, look at how many hours we've been there. Here, this is the first hour, then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, right? Price has been in that area, has tapped 6 1-hour candles, have tapped that area. So it's very likely that we're going through, right? We're going to go through this area very possibly today. Let's see. Okay, so we could be looking, I could be looking, I possibly could be looking for a pullback to take a sell to come further down around the 3265 mark. That's where we are very likely heading to. On the 4-hour, it's, yeah, this week here. That's possibly where price is getting to, is going to go to. Yeah, very likely. Easily a 150 plus pip drop coming up. Um, all right, let's go to our trading chart. I did take a trade here, sell in the Asian session, sorry, the London session. I think about 150 pips, I think I got out of it, 150. Yeah, I got out somewhere here, maybe less. Yeah, somewhere there. Yeah, 140, 140. I got in right there. A fib was drawn like this for those who want to see what the trade was. Yeah, right at just above, around 3296 is where I got in, about 130, 140 pips I got out. Yeah, we're pushing down, right? The weekly, the EMAs are heading down, price is heading down. All right, let's get rid of this. Hmm. Okay, right. So price is already in demand. This is an old demand zone that we have to the left. I'm going to start by extending that to the right. Yeah. This is a liquidity candle. Start by extending that to the right as well. Price should be heading there. These liquidity candles are stacked one above the other, so we should go through them and come to 3265. Very likely. But I want to pull back before that happens. I want to pull back. I don't want to sell inside demand. I want to pull back outside of demand to be able to sell down. All right. Um, Now that covers about 360 pips to the downside, 370. Um, there is whatever's left of that zone, just, and then we have this zone here below this, here. Okay, so we've covered a decent area. Yeah, that's plenty. Well, that's the next liquidity candle. Just save this. Okay, so since yesterday we've just been pushing down. That's all that's happened since yesterday. Um, we took sells down. I think that was about a 4 hour trade I took out. Where were the sells yesterday? Yeah, here, right here. I said there was the London low was here, I believe. I think somewhere this was a London low. Yeah, I think somewhere here was the London low. If you were on yesterday's streams, yeah, I think this was the London low. Maybe here or here. One of these two was a London low. I said if a 30-minute candle, if you start to form resistance and breaks below the London low, I'll look to take sells. So this candle, 30-minute resistance formed. This candle broke the previous low. I drew the fib from the low of that 30-minute candle to the high of that previous candle, which is a swing high, right? And got in entry when this candle pulled back, got entry right there. And I took out, I think I got out at about, I don't know how many pips, but it was a over 4 hour trade, right? The stop loss was about 35, 40 pips maybe, and easily ran over 200 pips. I'd given out the trade idea yesterday in the stream, just before the stream ended. I said it'll take time because price is ranging. The stream was, I had the stream only for about an hour and a half yesterday, but the trade happened about 30 minutes after the stream ended. All right, let's go back to this. On the 1 hour time frame, on the 1 hour time frame, we have a supply level here. Um, It's also visible on the 4 hour, very clear on the 4 hour. In fact, let's base it off the 4 hour. Yeah, that's better. Drop, two basin candles and a drop, right? So this high 803, 820, 820, 48, 48. Okay, that's 4 hour supply. Drop, two basin candles and a clean drop, right? Let's take a look at that zone on the 1 hour as well, because price has crossed this psychological round number. Let's take a look at the 30-minute as well. Yeah, yeah, let's get rid of this liquidity candle for now. Yeah, that seems okay. Although I would prefer it like this. Yeah, get that, start with this candle. That's better. This would be the drop. These are all basin candles. Yeah, 1 eye is better. And you can see the tap there. That's better. So this open is 677 and this high is 039. 039 677. Okay, 4 hour supply, right? We're coming down. I just want to pull back before we continue down. For the up, there is a drop, a base. This kind of candle has more collective wick than body, base, and a drop. We'll mark that as well. So take a look at that on the 1 hour. 30 minutes. Yeah, that's fine. No, this is okay. Okay, close 213 on the high 988. Okay. All right. I think we've covered a decent area. 450 pips to the upside. That's good enough. And we've got demand down here. All right. Okay. We've got two new zones here. These are all old zones. Let's move these labels across. We have two new zones. Let's see if these are high liquidity zones, right? So I'm looking to see if they've taken out opposing demand, the supply zones. On the 1 hour time frame, yes, there's a drop, a base, there's a basin candle and a push up, two basin candles and a push up. So that's a demand zone. Price has come down, has taken out that low. So this low is 667 and this low is 666. Yeah. So it's taken out that low. So this is a high liquidity zone. Price could pull back up there to continue down. This one here, this is also high liquidity zone. We have a drop, base, drop, 4 basing candles in the base and a drop. And this one has taken out this demand here, rally, base, rally, and has taken out also this drop, base, rally, right? Yeah, this single candle down, that was yesterday NY session. We took out that. So that too is a high liquidity zone. All right. Now, next step. Let's see if we have a high liquidity candle in this new 4-hour supply, in these supply zones, right? So start again with the 1-hour time frame. Just save this. Looking for the largest 1-hour candle, that would be this. So let's start with that. Let's go to the 30-minute. Yeah, that one right there. 151 pips. Yeah, 152 pips. Let's go to the 15. $108. 98. What's that? Yeah, 30. We're going to go with the 30-minute time frame. 30-minute time frame here. 586078. Okay, let's take a look at this area up as well. This zone here, if you have a high liquidity candle, there is this 142 pips. Yeah, start here. Let's go to the 30-minute. $124. 15. $85. Yeah, this one right here. 867019. Okay, that's it. That's the analysis, right? Price is pushing down. As I said, we should be coming down here. I want to take the sells, but I want to pull back before I take the sells. I don't want to sell inside a demand zone. I want to pull back. Or if price breaks this zone If it breaks the liquidity candle, then we can get rid of that. We can delete that zone, and then we can delete the liquidity candle. This one right here. Sorry. Yeah, this one we can delete that. If you break the zone, we can delete the zone, and then wait for a pullback, probably towards 3289, and take the sells to come further down to 3265. Right. That'll be a decent trade, 200 plus pip trade. Okay. Just give me a second. All right. Still got about 6 minutes for the for NY Open, but I'm going to wait for at least 15 minutes after that before I look for a setup. Um, let's look at what price has done in the Asian and London sessions, right? Um, yeah, look at the market open. We haven't moved much today. Haven't moved much. Here, right here. This is the market open. So the market opened at 3302.5, 3302.5 roughly, right? 3302.5. Now, before we start there, price was very bearish yesterday, NY session, and then we came to a liquidity candle, which price tapped here, and a liquidity level 3289. That's a liquidity candle because it's based off this zone here. This light green zone is based off a candle to the left, and this specific price level 3289 is a price level, is a liquidity level. Price tapped that. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, we had a on the 1-hour time frame we had a big rejection wick, 100 pip wick. On the 4-hour it was even larger. Um, it was nearly a 200. It was a 200 pip wick on the 4-hour, and we pushed up. Right, we continued to push up, and then we just ranged, went sideways. Right, and then when we went sideways, and then the market opened, and the market opened inside the liquidity candle that he had formed on the way down during the NY session. Right, so price was ranging. Now let's look for the Asian high and low. Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's go back to what I was saying. Um, The market opened here. We were ranging. The market opened here. Inside the liquidity candle, pushed back deeper into the liquidity candle, created the Asian high, formed 30-minute resistance, right? Exact 30-minute resistance there, perfect. And price pushed down. That's a great trade to take if you're trading the Asian session. 30-minute resistance formed inside the liquidity candle. This candle broke the low. Perfect trade to take, right? We came down, pushed all the way down from there. It's a great trade to take on the pullback. 200 pips and still falling to 35. It should be coming further down. I didn't take that trade. I wasn't trading the Asian session. I traded the London session. I took this pullback to come down about 130 pips. I think I got out of it. Okay, so formed 30-minute resistance, came straight to 3,300, closed above, closed back below, head straight down to 3289, and then the liquidity candle came further down, created the Asian low, and pushed back up here. Why did we stop here? Okay, that's fine. Okay, because we came back here anyway. That's okay. So we came back here. We created the London high, formed 30-minute resistance again, right there, and we pushed back down to 3289, and came deeper into the liquidity candle, tapped the Asian low. We rejected the Asian low, formed 30-minute support right here. This is 30-minute support from the Asian low to push back up past 3289 to the EMA. That's a liquidity level. Came to the EMA, formed 30-minute resistance again, right? And push back down, right? And when we did that, when we formed 30-minute support, we also created the London low here. Push back to the EMA, and now we've formed 30-minute resistance at the EMA, and we've pushed down. Price has closed. This is pre-NY. This candle, this bearish candle here, 30-minute. Let me zoom in. This bearish candle here is pre-NY. That's an hour before the NY open. That candle has closed below 3289, suggesting price is bearish. Then we have another 30-minute candle that has broken that low and closed right at the Asian low. We should be pushing down. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. We're bearish. If we pull back here, yeah, but I would like to see this low being taken out first for a pullback to take the trade. Yeah. I'm going to keep the fib like this, but I would like to see price push down, take out this low, then pull back. Because once it takes out this low, I know price is heading further down. That's confirmation that price could be pushing further down. Then a pullback to take a trade. Now, no, not really. Now I don't want to. It's too much of a risk to try to take a trade here when this London low hasn't been taken out yet. This high is 602 and this low is 324. Okay. Yeah, I'm not taking out. I'm not taking any sells here. Even though I marked the fib, I am not taking any sells here. I'm not. I'm just going to wait for the 30-minute candle to close. 27 minutes for this candle to close. I'm going to wait for the candle to close. Let's see what happens. Price pushes because it could push above this. This candle has hardly any top wick. We rejected the Asian low ones, pushed up to the EMAs. We came back down. We respected this low. Yeah, we could be pushing back up. So I've drawn the fib, but I'm not placing any pending orders. Just waiting for this 30-minute candle to close. Let's see what happens. So this 30-minute candle close. If it breaks the low and then it pulls back, great. Great. but otherwise price could pull back all the way back up here again because the London session didn't touch the liquidity candle. The Asian session did, the London session didn't. So we could be coming back up and then push down. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait for this 30-minute candle to close. Mm. That's the analysis. Any questions on the analysis? You can always post any questions in the chat and I'll answer. Even though price could react here, I'm not taking a sell because we haven't broken this London low. We have respected it. Price came down, respected the London low, and it's begin trying to push up. So I'm not interested in taking a sell. If he had closed below, somewhere near the London low, if the candle had 30-minute candle had closed somewhere down here, um, below this support, yeah, maybe. But we respected. We closed exactly at that same support, and we're pushing up. But if you had closed below the support uh, and broken the low, then maybe I would have taken a trade here. I would have placed pending orders here and here. But we res we respected the support, and we're respecting the support again. This 30-minute candle still has about 18 and a half minutes to close. So there's some time. Um, yeah. So I'm just waiting for this candle to close. Yeah, we're pushing up. Price is pushing up. That's why I didn't take sells here. I didn't place pending orders because price I said is likely to push up because we formed support where previous support was. If the candle had closed below this support and broken this low, yes, then maybe it could have taken sells, but we're heading back up, not doing anything. All right, still have about 13 minutes for the candle to close, so I'm waiting. I'll be back in a few minutes. We're rejecting this area. Hmm. Yeah, but I'm not keen on taking sells here. This is a range. Yeah, let price do its thing. Let the 30-minute candle close. 30-minute candle closes could continue to push up. 4-hour candle has closed a doji. About an hour 40 minutes for this candle to close. 1 hour support, 30-minute support. Yeah, I don't want to trade here. That's pushing down. Yeah, just gonna wait for 30-minute candle to close. Mm, nice push down. 35 pips from 32.92.82. Let's see how the candle closes. Yeah, we're pushing back up, pushing back up. Uh, we're pushing up from this candle right here that crossed 3289. There's going to be a trade later on. Yeah, so probably not in the next 30 minutes, but later on, just like yesterday. I said this yesterday as well. There was a trade, the first 1.5 hours, there was nothing. But once this candle closed and this candle pulled back, there was a trade, right? So the stream started, I think, here. This is where we start the stream. And the stream ended just as this candle closed. Yeah, just before this candle closed. And then 30 minutes after that, there was a trade to come down. That's a trade I took. Very likely going to be the same thing today. There's going to be, I mean, the same time today. Not the same trade, but same time today. Around the same time, or probably even 30 minutes after that. Around NYSE open or the 4-hour candle close. Yeah, 30-minute candle closed. 30-minute candle closed. Forms support above. We've rejected the London low. Forms support above the Asian low. Price could pull back and continue higher. If we could come all the way up here. Yeah, could look to take buys from here. Stop loss there about 45 pips. 32324. Yeah, I'm placing a pending order here, buy order here. We formed 30-minute support. We're pushing up, broke the high. This one broke the high. Let's see if we can get a pullback here. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I've got some pending orders placed here. Stop loss under here, so it's about 24 pips and going up to about 55 pips. Anticipating price to tap this level and then push up to 3,300 or higher. Let's see. Yeah, so that's stop loss. 3,300 and then yeah. Let's see if we can pull back here. This candle has no low. This candle just opened 1530. Let's look at the 1 minute time frame. 1530, what is this low? 073. Yeah. So the 1 minute candle opened and pushed straight up. We should come down and break this low before we continue higher. If we are continuing higher. If we are continuing higher. Should come down, create a bottom wick if price is to push up. And price could push up to 3,300 and 3,302. 3,303. Roughly 3,302 or 3,303. That's about 140 pip push up. Let's see. This is a range. Price is respecting the bottom of the range. That's support, 1 hour support, 30-minute support, and 15-minute support. And price has created new support, trying to push up. The 1 hour candle is trying to close bullish above the London low. Hence why I have placed pending orders. The 30-minute candle has closed above the London low. I'm anticipating price to pull back and then continue up. Price hasn't touched the liquidity candle in the London session, and those are my reasons for looking for buys right now. But the overall direction is bearish. High time frame direction on the weekly, and the daily are bearish, and even the 4 are bearish. Weekly, daily 4 are bearish, but as a session trader, you got to look for opportunities on the lower time frames as well. So 30-minute support has formed here again for a second time from the liquidity candle. Price, this candle has broken the previous candle high. Candle has closed. I'm looking for a pullback from around this area for price to push up. Let's see if that happens. That's the trade idea. It's the buy. Yeah, so I'm waiting here for price to push down and for these, let's see if price can trigger these entries to continue up. We should break above these highs and continue higher. This is a range. There is liquidity, as you can see, above the range. There is 3,300 and liquidity candle. And there is also prices tap the EMA, so we're getting a small reaction to the first EMA. But we've formed support from a liquidity candle and we've closed above 3289 and we're trying to push up. Hence why I've placed pending orders for buys to go up. Right, 30-minute support formed. We rejected, so here are the reasons for the buys. We rejected the London low, that's a London low. 30-minute support formed after we rejected the London low, closed above the Asian low. All of that happened from a liquidity candle. 30-minute candle closed forming support from a liquidity candle and also above 3289. This candle broke the previous high. I've drawn the fib, waiting for a pullback for price to continue up towards 3,300 and maybe even towards 3,303. Let's see, stop loss is there. It's about, on average, about 40 pips, right? Because this one is about 25, and that one's about 55. So on average, about 35 pip stop loss um, to push up. I've divided my risk at different entries. One is at 3289, one is at the optimal, one is at the 15-minute um, demand level, drop base rally. It's also visible on the 5-minute time frame, and one is on the 5-minute time frame demand level, and the next one is at the sniper entry, 3285.75. Yeah, okay, we're just waiting for the candle to close. 15 minutes more. 15-minute candle just closed, pushed up, no bottom wick, strong bullish candle, closed above 3289, and price came to that candle and is pushing up. Let's see if it can come back there again. This is the 30-minute candle open. We should break this low, come down and then push up. Okay, I'm going to be here for another 10 minutes. Then I'm going to end the stream. The market's very slow. There's nothing happening. I'm waiting for these buy orders to get triggered. Let's see what happens. Anticipating price to push up. I've explained why I've taken buys here. But there should be a trade later on. I'm anticipating possible sells later on. Let's see how the 4-hour candle could close. Yeah, we've broken the high already. This high is 601, this high is 602. Yeah, we've broken the high, respect to the low, broken the high. Candle has about an hour, 10 minutes to close. We could be pushing back up here. 3,302, 3,303. Hence why I've taken pending orders, I've placed pending, buy pending orders, the price to push up. But later on, we could have a sell to come down. Let's see. I don't want to chase price now. Even though price should be heading up, I want a pullback to 3289 or lower to take the buys. That's why I've placed pending orders. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes and then we will end the stream. Yeah, price is pushing up. No opportunity for buys. Price didn't pull back. I wanted the 30-minute candle to pull back here to take the buys, but we're already pushed up. We could be heading high, and that's fine. There'll be no buys. But later on, there might be an opportunity for sells. And that's what I'm going to be watching for. Um, this is level 32.95.92. Yeah, very likely this 30-minute candle is going to close above 93.60. That's a resistance level around 32.93, right? 32.90, yeah, 32.93. Yeah, we close above, and then we might have a pullback. But if the next candle breaks the high and immediately continues higher, then there are no buys. And there are no buys. There was no pullback for the buys. And then later on, we'll have to wait for the 4-hour candle to close. Yeah, then we're going to wait. If there are no buys, if price doesn't pull back immediately at the next candle, then there are no buys. And then you got to wait for the 4-hour candle to close, and then possibly wait for a sell setup for price to come back down, or for price to pull back after the 4-hour candle closes, come back, create support, and then a push back up, right, to retest the new NY high that this candle is going to create, this move is going to create. Price is going to push up, create a new high. With the once the 4-hour candle closes, we might have a pullback, create support, and a retest of that high, right? That's a buy trade that you can look for. Wait to take. Mm. Yeah, there's been nothing right now. I'm just waiting. All right, I'll be back in a few minutes and then we'll end the stream. I'm just waiting for the 30-minute candle to close. Let's see how the 30-minute candle closes. Yeah, so we're pushing up. We push past the EMA. We're coming towards the liquidity candle. No pullback. We'll have to see after this 30-minute candle closes if there is going to be a pullback or not, but I doubt it. I think the next candle is going to, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there might be a pullback. I think the next candle will probably pull back somewhere here and then just continue higher. No opportunity. I have to wait for the 30-minute. I had to wait for 30-minute candle to close, not 15-minute. 15-minute candle close. The 30-minute, the next 15-minute candle did pull back, but you got to wait for. I did pull back to 32.89, but you got to wait for the 30-minute candle to close, for 30-minute support to form. At least that's what I do. I wait for 30-minute support to form. So price is heading towards our TP. These TP levels, 3,300 and 3,303, should be getting there. I think pretty easily should be heading to 3,300 and 3,303. But there will be a trade later on. I'm pretty certain of it. There will be a trade later on. Either sells here. These are the possible two trades that I'm going to be looking for. If price comes up here, creates 30-minute resistance, I'll look to take a trade to come down. If it comes to the liquidity candle or to the EMA, this EMA right here, or even the psychological round number, or even deeper, I'll look to take, if 30-minute resistance forms, I'll look to take a sell to come down, right? If price creates, that's one idea. If price pushes up further, and then or even now, if we've created like a new high in the, yeah, we haven't broken above the London high yet, but we should be breaking above that. Once we break above the high, if price pulls back and creates support, then I'll look to take buys further. I'll look to take buys from here after support is formed. But I've placed these pending orders. These pending orders are in place. If price decides to pull back before it heads up, then those orders will get active. If not, if price breaks the current, if price breaks the previous candle high and pushes further, then we're creating a new high in the NY session. Then I'll look for a pullback to take a trade. Look for a pullback, support to form. There we go. We broke the high. Look for a pullback at any point now. Look for a pullback, 30-minute support to form or 50-minute support to form for price to continue higher, right? Those are two trade ideas. Price to pull back, retest the new high, or price to come up deeper and create 30-minute resistance to take the sells to come down, right? But these orders are in place. I've explained where I've placed these orders exactly. Stop loss is there. 3283.24 TP levels are here, but price is already heading towards the TP levels, 3,300 and 3,303. So we're going to have to wait for a while, maybe wait for the, yeah, very likely wait for the 4-hour candle to close for the pullback and support to take the buy trade, or wait for 30-minute resistance to form to take the sell trade to come down, right? We'll come back tomorrow and see which of those two setups worked, if they worked at all, right? All right, that's the end of the stream. I'll be back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. There hasn't been a lot of volume right now, or no structure. I mean, no proper retracement to take a trade in the first couple of hours of the NY session, hour and a half of the NY session. But hopefully we'll have something tomorrow. We have news tomorrow, small news event. It's not an important news event, just unemployment claims. It's not important, but that should should have a setup for that to take a trade, right? Let's see tomorrow. All right. I'll be back tomorrow 7:30 a.m. EST. Take care. Don't overtrade and don't over risk. See ya.